So it's interesting, Alex. We've seen this a lot already, and it still invokes in me different feelings. I want to tell the folks how I met you. By the way, Alex Quadron, you are a director, you are a producer, and you are currently working on a project called Sound of Controversy. And this is how we met. So I meet Alex through Tim. Tim and Alex meet through a mutual friend. I say, Alex, I need you to help me out with something. I've got information. Can you put something together for me so that we can vet it to the public and let them know what's going on? What are your feelings about this?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me as your guest today, Troy. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, as you've said, this was a project that came to me, like, I think it was a calling. There's projects that I want to do, and sometimes projects that I'm called to do. And I think this was a calling in certain way. I was doing, literally, as you can see here in the board, an investigational documentary about Sound of Freedom and about the unexpected success of Sound of Freedom and how it became a political bias when, for me, as an international person, I asked the question to myself, why should the safety of children and the topic that Sound of Freedom addresses became a political bias, right? So I decided to start this investigation, and through a mutual friend, I met Tim. He told me after the interview his story and what he's going through, and that's when I think he told you about me, and you connected with me to do this project, which, I mean, I found super interesting, to be honest. Like, it's very interesting, just to give the people a chance to ask questions by themselves and to present Tim's side of the story, which he hasn't been able to do. And the fundraiser that you want to put up, right?
Right. And I wanted a documentary that would aim at providing a platform for evidence, or for just, let's take a look at everything. And it wasn't to dismiss the seriousness of the allegations at all whatsoever. I did want to inform the public of the seriousness of justice and letting things be played out in fairness. And I appreciate you for helping me with this project. And you mentioned the Give, Send, Go, which is a fundraiser that I have implemented to help, because, the Ballards are being sued. The Ballard Family Defense Fund, that is with Give, Send, Go, and that is there to help with the legal fees for the Ballard family, because as you'll find out in the documentary, which is only 35 minutes, and you guys got to go watch that. This is just a little snippet of something huge that needs to be brought to your awareness. But you can donate to the Ballard Family Defense Fund, and that goes directly to the attorneys. It is there specifically to help with the legal expenses. Alex, thank you so much for everything that you've done to help me with this project. And now we just need to get it out there.
Yeah, brother. I mean, it's definitely been a tough one to do and to edit. And again, as you mentioned, the purpose of this documentary is merely to make people question themselves and question the narrative that it has been established by the plaintiffs that are accusing Tim and his family.
Absolutely. And real quick, is Sound of Controversy, that's a longer documentary that you have been working on. Is that completed? And when is that coming out?
So yeah, I mean, I started doing this, on my own, basically. As you can see, like, I've made an entire research about these phenomena. And, I started actually with Tim. He was the first person that gave me the interview, as well as the producers of the film. But as for right now, I actually deviated to this. I mean, I see it as part of, surrendering to what life puts me in front. and it got me with you, and it got me to make this project. So I still wouldn't want to share too much about like the process on how I'm doing on that, because there's still a long way to go. But definitely, it's brought me to this world, and I'm so thankful that you gave me an opportunity to bring your vision to life. So
no, Alex, thank you for helping me with this project and just being a part of it. You are one of the most creative human beings I've met in a long time. Now what you need to do, folks, is go watch the 35-minute documentary entitled Unfounded, Episode 1, Lie Detector. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Troy, for having me in your channel again.
I'll be seeing you again soon.
I bet you will.
Here we are to get him out.
In a world where innocence is stolen and hope seems a distant dream,
forcing this little girl on the train to celebrate her stuffed animal.
There are those who dare to fight against the darkness. Tim and Catherine Ballard stood as beacons of light, venturing where few would dare to rescue the voiceless. But now, these heroes face their most unexpected and harrowing battle yet. Not in the shadows of a trafficker's den, but in the glaring spotlight of a courtroom.
Tim Ballard reported sexual misconduct allegations.
The suit described the couple's ruse.
Ballard's wife is now being included in a lawsuit linked to
Their mission, their family, their very legacy hangs in the balance. Imagine dedicating your life to the noblest cause, rescuing thousands of children from the clutches of evil, only to find yourself in a web of what seems to be unfounded accusations and outright lies. In the darkest hours, when heroes fall, will we stand by and watch? Or will we rise to lift them, as they have lifted so many? The fate of the Ballard family and the countless lives they've touched now rests in our hands. Meet Tim and Catherine Ballard, a couple united not only by love and family, but also by a profound commitment to God and to a humanitarian cause. Their remarkable journey, though not scripted for cinema, became the inspiration behind the acclaimed film
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom. The film based on the life of Tim Ballard. He's also a former deputy Department of Homeland Security agent, and Tim's live with us in studio. So
touching
welcome.
hearts, both nationally and internationally.
La historia de Tim Ballard, un ex agente federal.
Ballard's path shifted dramatically from government service to a bold and relentless fight against child trafficking. Catherine, his equal in strength and resolve, stands as a pillar of support.
There wasn't ever a moment where we said, let's dedicate our lives to humanitarian causes. It just happened. You know, we never foresaw us taking on this role of being a big voice for human trafficking. That wasn't what we were setting out to do.
Balancing the demands of aiding Tim's missions with the care of their 9 children. Their family is unique, including 2 children whom Tim personally rescued during a daring operation in Haiti. Each aspect of their life together speaks volumes of their extraordinary commitment and love.
I had to leave the house, right?
Yeah.
In their united front, they established Operation Underground Railroad, shining a light of hope in the darkest corners of human trafficking. Their mission is clear: to dismantle the chains of child exploitation, not just in the U.S.
They've done jumps everywhere throughout the world, rescued kids, and then helped them get to a safe place with their aftercare programs.
The impact of their work resonates far and wide, celebrated by communities, acclaimed in the media, and supported by a global network of allies. The Ballards, along with their brave partners, have transformed personal sacrifice into a worldwide crusade.
So I have a project that's under Operation Underground Railroad called Children Need Families. Primarily what we do is fund adoptions or offer grants
liberating over 7,000 women and children from the grips of trafficking. Yet, at this apex of their endeavors, they confront an unexpected and daunting challenge. This new battle poses a threat not only to their life's work, but also to the very essence of their family unit. In this critical moment, a pivotal question looms. Will we, their community of supporters, stand by them as steadfastly as they have stood for the voiceless and vulnerable? In the wake of triumph often comes trial. The very success that brought their noble cause to light has cast an unforeseen shadow over their lives. Just after Tim suggested he may run for the U.S. Senate, a group of women have come forward with grave allegations against the Ballards.
For the woman accusing Ballard spoke publicly, alleging sexual assault.
These accusations have not only stunned their supporters, but have also ignited a media firestorm. The charges are severe, threatening not just the reputation of the Ballard family, but their entire livelihood. Tim and Catherine, once hailed as heroes, now find themselves in the eye of a legal and public relations hurricane. The irony is bitter. A family that has fought tirelessly against abuse and exploitation now stands accused of the very acts they've dedicated their lives to eradicating.
It was the largest child rescue that I've ever heard of. We rescued over 120 victims.
The legal battle looms large, with mounting costs that threaten to bankrupt the family. Every dollar spent in courtrooms is a dollar taken away from their mission of rescue and rehabilitation. The potential financial ruin is not just a personal catastrophe for the Ballards. It's a direct hit to the heart of their life-saving operations. As the Ballards navigate these troubled waters, the question remains: will justice prevail? Or will accusations drown out years of selfless service?
My husband has just this light. He's able to see good in the world, you know, and he has a lot of optimism, a lot of strength. I didn't want to see that taken away. I didn't.
Some accusers who worked undercover assumed the roles of wives or girlfriends to Ballard and other operatives during missions. In technical terms, this is called cover for status. As an undercover couple, they could go into strip clubs, bars, dirty spas, and to places where child traffickers do business and block for each other, so neither would be expected to engage in sex with children or adult sex workers.
Once people are being trafficked, they're being enslaved. There's really only one way to get them out. You have to go into that black market and filtrate it, because otherwise you're not going to know what's happening, and no one's going to know what's happening. The undercover piece is that important. We look for people who have the law enforcement, military skills, but even the more important skill is actors. You've got to be able to play the role that we need you to play, whatever that might be, to infiltrate.
I was approached by a friend. There was a search for the Ukrainian women who can support operation. They of course know that since six years old I was performed a lot as an actress. Then in Amsterdam I also took some courses and performed here as well. They asked me if I would like to be a part of it.
And I work with Tim Ballard in a few undercover operations. One of them were in Mexico, where we helped to arrest a pedophile who was quite local of his sexual preferences. In that operation I played a teenager, and I was completely safe. I felt safe. Even though we were about to meet our target, I felt guarded. I felt that I'm in a safe space. I was treated well. I had my own hotel room. Again, I believe that operation was extremely successful, and it was great to be in such place to see that we actually can make a difference and save children's lives.
While maintaining a credible cover to be in these trafficking dens and rescue children. Some of those suing participated in real-life rescue operations.
Tim and the entire operations team did such a great job trying to lure him out using different techniques and tools to the point where he just couldn't say no.
We devised this plan
that Tim and I were business partners, and my character was in the process of trafficking young girls and looking to get into children from Ukraine.
Hey there, my name is I have been an undercover operator with OUR for over a year. I worked on various missions with Tim Ballard specifically, ranging from different countries, different continents. And during my time working with Tim, there has been zero inappropriate behavior, any sexual contact, any inappropriate sexual contact whatsoever before, during, or after a mission. Everything was kept very respectful, very professional. In fact, I think the OUR team went above and beyond to make sure the safety of both the operators and the victims and anybody involved in a mission. During my time in our different missions, we had to deploy different tactics depending on the scenarios, one of which was the couples rouge, which involved us posing as a couple. During those missions specifically, there was again absolutely zero sexual contact, touching, anything inappropriate of that nature. Everything was very much professional and respectful through and through from start to finish.
Where children were saved and traffickers taken down by using this cover for status tactic. None of them made a single complaint, not until later, in some cases years later.
If you were being assaulted, why did you just keep going there?
Was it only after the success of Sound of Freedom that they somehow became victims? Even though they showed up multiple times for training and/or operations well after the alleged abuse took place? Consider the case of one accuser. On July 20, 2023, one of the former operator-turned-plaintiffs confessed to a colleague the following in a text message: "I'm in love with my boss, who is married. How did that happen?" She also texted, "Why does everyone put Catherine on a freaking pedestal? She's not perfect. I'm not jealous. It's just annoying as shit. She gives up so much blah blah blah." Is it a coincidence she sued Catherine for sexual assault, while providing no evidence of how she could have done anything like that?
The lawsuit states that Catherine is promoting a false narrative against the alleged victims, saying they're coming forward because Tim is a public figure.
Now you, Catherine Ballard, you are being personally sued by these women. And that was a surprise. I haven't met most of these women. And the ones that I have met, well, have I only met one? Well, it's not true. I don't even know these women. I didn't know any of them were ever operators, actually.
One plaintiff, who accused Tim of coercing her into compromising situations, was actually the architect of her own undercover strategy. She claims Tim forced her to take sexy pictures. The truth in her own words, written on a text message to a colleague, she said, "The girl trafficking the girls was via escorts, so I got infiltrated through escorting a fake website we made. I had to take boudoir photos. The pictures are only on my burner. I was not naked. My husband knew I did it at the time even." Text messages between this operator and those helping her show how proactive she was without Ballard participation. Ironically, Ballard doesn't recall seeing pictures and did not participate with her on this particular operational trip to Mexico City when she used them. Further complicating the narrative, one accuser's past statements and actions tell a story of respect and trust in Tim Ballard. Just weeks before joining the lawsuit, she wrote passionately in defense of Ballard's character and methods, a stark contrast to her current stance. It's important to note that she wrote this email 2 weeks after she had resigned amicably from Ballard's employment. The couple's ruse is a well-thought-out process. It comes with training, and you have to trust your partner. Traffickers are raping and selling children for sex and are smart. You have to be believable. Leading up to an operation, details are being made, including locations, safe houses, prep locations, tattoo artists, makeup artists, camera crew, flights, backup operators, and so forth. We also all have burner cell phones that we use only on operations. These cell phones also need credibility. So leading up to all operations, we have to preload back and forth to either the couple acting as a couple on the op, or the group going in general. The reason is that traffickers have the technology to lift content from your phone to get intel. They also have grabbed phones out of our hands to look at accuracy, text messages, pictures, and flights to assure them we are not cops or undercover operatives. I have been working with Tim Ballard for almost 1 year. I have felt safe being Tim's partner in every operation I have been on. I have never been taken advantage of. He has always respected me and all the other operators around me. She continues, Tim has devoted much of his life to helping everyone around him. All these negative media, lies, and accusations are doing nothing but tearing families apart, not rescuing children, and exposing tactics that we use every day to save children that we might not be able to use anymore. Child trafficking is the darkest, most dangerous, and most disgusting thing on this earth. Going in to meet a trafficker with polite manners and tea will not save a child. You have to speak their language, look like them, and get in their head. It is a place where the average person can't go, and most likely can't understand the world. But thank goodness we have people who can go to that world and do understand it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to save children. You can't teach this anywhere. It is a gift God has given certain people to do. So can we please stop exposing the tactics and clear Tim Ballard's good name so we can continue saving children? Only 2 weeks after writing this glowing endorsement of Ballard, she sued him for sexual assault. So, she is either lying in this well-thought-out email, or she is lying to the court. Either way, she is lying. Why did she change her narrative so quickly? Was she recruited? After all, the accusers have already reached out to other colleagues of Ballard who had no complaints to see if they would like to join the lawsuit.
There was another operation which also was part of, we met a woman who was selling kids in her salon, and before going there we discussed what we're going to say, what we're going to do. We agreed upon our steps, and nothing was beyond which we agreed on. We played a couple, and we followed the couple rules. Again, it was nothing inappropriate. I believe that Tim has the best intention in his heart and what he was doing for the purpose of stop sexual exploitation of women out of their will and children.
Do you think that Tim is innocent of these accusations?
Yes. Yes. It's heartbreaking to watch this go out there, and we know the truth, and we have the truth, and we've just been muffled. We have not been able to get anything out. There were operations. Some of them were there. They were in a cover for status style of operation where you are playing a role. They were playing the role as a couple. That protects the operatives, that protects the children. These are the things that you do. So there are pieces of truth in there, and then there's just blatant lies. And I know they're lies because I know the evidence, and I know my husband. And he's not perfect. He's not perfect. And trying to figure out how to rescue over 7,000 children, not just him personally, but through his organization, and as he's led teams and taught people how to do this. This has been groundbreaking work. So you're going to learn things. You're going to be like, okay, we ran into this situation and that could have been dangerous. Let's adjust. This has definitely been like okay. I guess we shouldn't do operations this way anymore, which is it's unfortunate because they were rescuing people. I support my husband. We're together in this.
This whole thing breaks my heart. I'm watching these women, these accusers. They were my friends. saying we didn't rescue any kids. They were there. We did take down traffickers. We did rescue kids. Now, it's important to note that 2 of them didn't even make it on operations. They were cut for extremely inappropriate behavior. One of them was kicked out of a training by another person that I asked to kick him out because they invited me, this person invited me, to go up to her hotel room in a way that was extremely inappropriate. Another one was blocked by me because she was being very inappropriate, way outside of the lines, and she kept trying to get a hold of me multiple times. This will all come out. One of the people suing me, I've never even met, never been in the same room. Now, the few that actually went on operations, I mean, we rescued kids together. We risked our lives together. We cried with victims together, and they're acting like nothing ever happened. So it's heartbreaking to me because I still hold them as heroes, but I can't stand by and let them attack this cause and lie about real life operations where real kids' lives are at stake and my family is at stake. I can't. I've got to stand up and tell the truth, and it hurts because at the same time I still respect and hold them as heroes.
The lawsuit against Tim and Catherine Ballard is not just a legal battle. It's a storm that threatens everything they have built. Financially, the stakes are monumental. Legal defense is not just costly. It's a vortex draining resources at an alarming rate. Resources that were once channeled into life-saving operations are now diverted to court fees and legal expenses.
The hardest part for me was that they sued Children Need Families, which was my project under Operation Underground Railroad. And I just love being a part of that work. It's so exciting to think that you're bringing a child out of an orphanage, out of a situation like that and into a home. It doesn't end with bringing them into the home. There's a lot of work. When I found out that Children Need Families had been sued, that has really affected me. We had 25 families in the process of filling out their applications. 5 families already completed. They just needed the funds, and everything was stopped. And oh, that just makes me sad. Do they realize that those are children in orphanages? Adoption already takes so long. If I could change one thing about adoption, I would change how long it takes. Because the quicker you can get them out of an orphanage into a home, the better for that child. And I still cannot understand. Children Need Families doesn't have its own account. We have no funds. The funds were being given to us by OUR. And so there is nothing to sue. There's not like a piggy bank of money. It literally just stopped the project. That's it. It just stopped it. And I would like to know why. How did these children hurt you? Oh, it makes me really sad. I don't understand. I don't understand why you would want to put a stop to this. So that has been really hard.
The destruction that has already happened because of these lawsuits is immeasurable. Operations on 3 different continents have already been destroyed. One was a North Korean trafficking ring that was taking women and children from North Korea into Europe, into Mexico, into Los Angeles. It's over because of what's been revealed in the lawsuits. 2 different locations in Mexico, one in particular that I want to talk about with one operator who was heroic, and I still hold as a hero, even though she is attacking me with exaggerations and lies. She was my partner on probably a dozen different operations. She came back dozens of times, was so good at her job, we had her as a trainer. She trained on multiple continents, other people to do the status for cover couples tactic. We infiltrated probably one of the most dangerous traffickers in Mexico. This person had the police in her pocket. She had a doctor on call that would come to the sex party she would hold with children. The youngest boy she was trafficking was 6 years old, and the doctor came to sew up the children after they were raped so that she could get them back in the market within 6 weeks, she said. Basically like a quick episiotomy on these children. That's how evil she was. And without the couples tactic, it never would have happened. And she knows this. This operator who's suing me knows this. We infiltrated using that technique. And that case has been exposed. She names the names. She names the places. I've got calls from Mexico saying what has happened. Everyone's been exposed. All the time and money and disguises. She's hiding behind an acronym, so her family is safe. My family is not. The operators in Mexico are not. It's all been exposed. My kids go to school every day, and I have to wonder every day, are they going to come home? My family's terrified. On top of all the other stuff that's happening, we've been exposed to dangerous traffickers who have deep connections to cartels, are the cartel, and have the police in their pocket. She focuses on dirty things that I said as my undercover persona. See your ID just so I know your real name. I don't want to be over, you know what I mean?
Well, also like, baby, you just got
this is my real name.
Coca.
When we go into these dirty places, when we go into the dirty beach club where we have to establish credibility, whether we're in a room or outside, you don't break character. You don't know where cameras are. So I'm saying dirty things all the time. And she knows I'm saying it as my undercover persona. But in the lawsuit, she takes these dirty things I'm saying and pins it on Tim, as if Tim is saying it. And she knows better. I know these operations are so draining and emotionally damaging to all of us, all the operators. But that is not an excuse to lie about me or these operations. The couple's status for cover tactic has rescued dozens of girls, and now it can't be used again, and that's tragic. Fortunately, this operator made a video months after these operations where she said that inappropriate things happened, declaring that nothing inappropriate even remotely happened.
Okay, this is my acknowledgement. And went down to BBI during that time, and in Cozumel from May 25th to June 8th of 2021. In Cozumel and in BBI played as part of the couple ruse with Tim, and just wanted to acknowledge that we kept all of the boundaries there. And I will read them: no kissing on the lips, touching or exposing private parts, including breasts and genitalia, and any other thing you can imagine. We kept really strict boundaries. So that's my acknowledgement.
And she knows better. But to make a case, that's what they're going to do. That's what all of them are doing. All these weird and crazy things that I'm being quoted as saying, that's my undercover persona, whether it's in a training text, or in undercover text messages. These are undercover conversations that have to be dirty. It's not me saying it. But that's what they're focusing on, because that's what the case requires in order to gain the millions they seek. Instead of focusing on what they actually did heroically, which was to rescue children who are now in jeopardy. It's so emotionally draining, it's so emotionally damaging. I wonder if those operators and those accusers have also reflected on the immediate cost, the damages that have already happened, not to mention the future damage that will come if they prevail and take resources away from the rescue operations. And I wonder if they think it's worth it. Has it been worth it to sit silently and collect whatever millions you dreamed of? And then I ask myself, was it worth it? Was it worth it to go through all that pain and suffering? That infiltration, risking our lives, all these lawsuits that have come because of this? Was it worth it to get that last trafficker in Mexico? And I have to say yes, it was worth it. I would do it again. I might lose everything, but it was worth it.
The threat of bankruptcy looms large, a specter that endangers not just the Ballard family, but the very future of their mission. Now, at this critical juncture, the Ballard family reaches out for your support. This is more than a call for help. It's an invitation to stand for justice, to uphold the values of compassion and bravery that Tim and Catherine have embodied throughout their journey. Your contribution to the Ballard Family Defense Fund is not just a donation. It's a powerful statement. It's a declaration that you believe in the power of truth and the importance of fighting against unjust accusations. Every dollar you give strengthens their ability to defend themselves and continue their vital work. The time to act is now. Your immediate support can make a real difference. It can help cover legal expenses, protect the family from financial ruin, and ensure that their mission to save and rehabilitate children doesn't falter in these trying times. Donating is simple. Click the link below to contribute. Whether it's a small amount or a larger contribution, your support is invaluable. Share this message with your friends and family, and let them know why this cause matters. Together, we can create a wave of support that can turn the tide in favor of the Ballard family.
I'd like to stick around. I'd like to continue these rescue efforts. Well, actually, we would like to continue in this fight. I am so in love with this woman. She makes it possible. I wouldn't even be able to have any fight left in me were it not for your light. And I'm so grateful to Catherine. I'm so grateful to Alex Cuadro and Troy Abels and the friends who put this video together as a service to us to get the truth out. And like I was saying, we just want to get back to work.
Yeah, our hope is to be able to get back to doing the things that we've dedicated our life to. I want to get back to adoptions. It means so much to me, and to just helping the women and children around the world. We've been fortunate to have a taste of what it feels like to help people. And it's been hard. It's been hard. The suffering continues, and we're just having to fight off lies. So that's been hard. We want to get back to work.
That's right. And something else I want you all to know, as one of many, many lies in the lawsuit, if you want to talk about credibility, they have none. I've seen reports that we have up to $14 million socked away somewhere to, don't feel sorry for us because we have all this money. That's complete nonsense. We are literally, with Catherine as my witness, we're on the verge of bankruptcy. We don't have the money to fight this. And contrary to what they want to believe, I'm not some big owner in Sound of Freedom, okay? So we are suffering, and the work is suffering.
We need help. We have 9 children, and the Lord has blessed us so much. We feel so grateful, but fighting these lies is way more money than we have.
100% of the money donated is going to the Ballard Family Defense Fund. It's going to pay our legal fees to defend and get the truth out, so that the truth can prevail and the truth can set us free. Free to do the work that we feel called to do. So thank you and God bless.